Hello, everybody. It is great to be here one more time. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm the host of GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. I'm a serial entrepreneur with 17 startups under my belt. I was involved in the original management team of Click Software, an Israeli company that was sold to Salesforce for 1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai. We believe that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities are not. And with that, I have an incredible guest. I'd like to introduce Mel Larrosa. She is a serial entrepreneur. She's an advisor. She's a CEO of innovation and tech partnerships at Schneider Children's Medical Center. She's got a robust background, and oh, by the way, she's from Brazil, and she loves soccer. So, with that, I'd like to bring Mel on. Hi, Mel. How are you doing today?
Hi, Gary. I'm great.
Hey,
Thank
so
you.
I
How
have
are
a
you doing?
question for you. Why are the Brazilians so good at soccer?
I don't know. Some things are like tradition, I think. That's how it came up for us.
And so you were a goalkeeper, correct?
That's correct. That was back then university.
And how was that?
Listen, it's a teamwork, and since then, I've been inserted in some kind of teamwork in different areas in my life. And working as a team, it's always very challenging and always very rewarding. So it was great.
So I have a question for you. You were born in Brazil, and then correct?
Almost. I was born in Uruguay, but as a child, we immigrated to Brazil. So I grew up
Mhm.
in Brazil.
I see. And then what was the decision? What made you go to Israel? What was it? Was it a job opportunity, or did you just say one day, I want to go back to Israel? I want to go to Israel.
No, it was more like a life thing, family thing.
Hmm.
In between Brazil and Israel, I lived in China. I studied also Chinese medicine. It was a strong interest for me for some period in my life. And there, um, I met someone, we got married, and we came to Israel. This
Oh,
is a
there you go. There
short
you go.
summary of the thing. Yes.
There you go. So the Chinese medicine, that must have been interesting. What's the difference between Chinese medicine and Western medicine now?
Well, I think Western medicine is right now, or for the past few decades, starting to look or to see health and disease very much, pretty much like Chinese medicine, which is in a holistic way, not to treat the disease, not to treat the systems or the symptoms, but to treat the person. So I think Western medicine is getting there and is doing it already in many, many cases. It's just that the Chinese got to it like 5,000 years before, but it's okay. Things are converging now to a common present, it seems.
So what was one thing when you were studying the Chinese medicine you said this is like so different and like a miracle? Did you have any of those experiences where you actually saw something that was so different that you said, we should have been doing this 5,000 years ago?
Well, it's a whole approach. It's just to see everything differently. And of course, they didn't have when all of this was first developed. They didn't have the technology we have today. So it's not that everything in Chinese medicine works on 100% or is 100% correct to the level of science we have today. But quite a few things do work, and they didn't even know exactly why, or they had different theories of how and why it's working. And right now we are discovering, okay, that's because of this, that's because of that. Now that we're getting to molecular levels and understanding pathophysiology in another ways, so we are again converging and putting these two things together. There are no miracles. If someone, God forbid, I don't know, is run over by a truck, don't try to do massage or acupuncture on them. They need Western medicine. And this is, of course, an extreme example. There are lots of things that Western medicine most probably is more adequate and appropriate than Chinese medicine that I know of, at least. And in some cases, it's the opposite.
Wow, that's amazing. But the massage sounds good. I could really use one right now myself, and maybe some acupuncture too. No, that's great. Okay, so you have a background in sales. You were at Bioanalytic Scientific. So how in the world did you go from sales and marketing, project management? What's the exit strategy? evolution, the CEO of innovation and tech partnerships at Schneider. How in the world did so you were in sales. What did you do at Bioanalytical Scientific? What did you do there?
Listen, I didn't know that, but that was building my career, building my knowledge, and building myself towards where I am today. When I started, the first degree and then the second degree in biology in the 90s, and back then, at least in Brazil, we did not learn anything about innovation. That was not a career yet. That was not a thing yet. I never heard the word company. We're mostly learning and going towards an academic way. And that's how I started. I was 7 years in a basic lab, doing basic research, and never thought there was anything else for me as a
Mhm.
biologist, as a molecular biologist. But then in sales, what you mentioned, that it's technical sales, scientific sales, it's selling for researchers. So it's a different kind of sales. So it's still sales, it's still something else, but it was in within the area of life sciences, which is my area since then until now. So along the way, I started learning different things and getting here in Israel 20 years ago, coming here to Israel 20 years ago, I started work within the ecosystem of innovation here in different aspects, in startups, for medical devices, and then pharma, and then a tech transfer for an university, and now a hospital. So I've seen innovation and learned a little bit of innovation from different angles, from the different players in this ecosystem. So I didn't know by then, but I was building myself to get where I am now, because to be involved in innovation, I have to do a little bit of everything. I don't. I am not a specialist of anything. I think I'm the integrator, and I am able to connect the different areas that need to happen and to work together in order for us to be able to innovate.
So you were a project manager. I mean, what did you do as project manager? That was your job, right? To bring things together.
You see, so it was always the same things going on. The marketing also is the same, the ability to communicate and go forward with your project, to manage the projects and to conclude them, to put things together, to manage the resources. This is a backbone of innovation. That's what the same thing I'm doing now at the hospital, with different names, with different peoples, different capacities, and different kind of resources. But still, it's managing complex projects, because at least in healthcare, I think everything else, um, innovation is a complex thing. It
Mhm.
does not go linear. Involves different peoples and different capacities, and you have to be able to integrate this to be able to move ahead with every single project.
Now, how was it going from Brazil and studying Chinese medicine to moving to Israel? Was there any cultural shock coming in? Did it take you a while to get used to it, or was like, oh, I feel like I'm home today?
Some things were pretty much the same. In general terms, well, Brazilians are known to be warm people, and so are Israelis. So, in this thing, and this is a main thing, this is important thing. So there was no shock. I was just, I was hugging people before. I keep on hugging people here. Everything is fine, and it's acceptable in both places. Some things are different. Some things also related to work, for example, related to the mentality of innovation. This is quite different. I think what we have here in Israel is quite unique. It's not exactly the same in Brazil, and I even think it's not the same anywhere else.
What's different, Mel?
First of all, there is no fear of failure. So when someone gets known for being successful in a startup, everybody knows that probably this person failed two, three, or four, or five startups before that, like bankrupt, and it's okay. That's the way to learn. That's the only way forward. In many places of the world, I'm sure this would have been maybe crushing for some people to see this happening. Here, it's also not a happy moment, but people are resilient. um, I think other thing that maybe supported the creation of the state of Israel as a startup nation is the fact that there were not so many options here. Let's be real about it. There's no oil here, not much land, no water, small population. Like developing technology and learning how to export it was a must. And so we reached the point we have today, in which about almost, I don't know, 40, 50% maybe of the exports of Israel is what we call high tech here, cyber, software, IT, hardware, this kind of stuff.
So, with that, but when I talk to Israeli startups, it's hard for them to get funding. I mean, I hear a lot of them say that it's a problem finding funding. So, on one side, you got these incredible opportunities. On the other side, they have a problem getting funded. Why is that?
Well, first of all, I have to always to think about the different stages of the companies. At
Hmm.
some periods, getting the seed funding is easier. In the past couple of years, getting the growth fund has been easier. In fact, so that's why we have. This is one of the reasons, I guess, why we are seeing now so many companies becoming unicorns here in Israel. Something that we didn't have before at all. Companies were starting, and then after just getting commercial or not even that, people were just exiting, and that's it. So we were the startup nation, the highest number of startups per capita or something like that for a few years, until the faucet for the early stage investment started to close and become a little bit more difficult. So the companies had to face this need to support themselves on the second stage, on the growth stage. And then also there was more investment available for that.
Hmm.
Overall, it is not easy. If we compare with you guys in the US, of course, the universities are much better funded. The hospitals also likewise. In fact, in anyhow, to fund any kind of startup at the beginning or growth stage is also easier. But still, what we have here supporting the whole thing is the private initiative. It's more
Hmm.
than the government. The government invests here less than the private ones.
No, that's interesting. I don't know what's happening in Israel right now and what you're seeing, but I've never seen it as busy as it is now. And I think it's because of here I'm in Silicon Valley, because the fact that the startups didn't have a chance to get out of their home countries, and then now COVID's slowed down a bit. I see an incredible amount of startups from all over the world, from Korea, from all over the world here coming in droves. And I had never seen it's like a tidal wave of startups coming in, which is interesting because the valley was kind of slow during COVID. Things had really slowed down. People said it wasn't going to be Silicon Valley wasn't going to be the place, but I got to tell you, I've never seen so much activity, and I've been here for 37 years. It's unbelievable, actually, right now. So, what about in Israel? Do you see what about the startup activity? How is it right now? Is it up? Is it down? What's happening?
When COVID just started here in Israel in February 2 years ago, um, I think, like everywhere else in the world, we didn't really know what was going to happen. Probably everything is going to be, everybody will be waiting to see what will happen. And in the meantime, nothing will happen. But that
Mhm.
was not the case. 2020 was a great year for startups. 2021 was even better. It was like huge amounts of investment for early stage, for growth in different proportions, but still everybody was making money. So it was they were 2 great years somehow for the
Yeah, why
ecosystem
is
here.
that though, Mel? That's interesting because everybody was shut down. Why is it? It was kind of, I don't know about you, but we did a lot of online. We were doing 3 to 5 podcasts per day, 5 days a week. And it's interesting because, you do see that 2021 in terms of investment, but why in Israel specifically was that happening? Why was it in your mind? What do you think happened? That opportunity.
Hmm. I'm not sure I have a great answer for that. I just see that also within every individual company, everyone was kind of afraid of, oh my God, what's going to happen? Everybody working from home, we're not meeting each other. Will the work keep on, advancing and being the same? And I'm not sure if everybody started working double or to make up for, the constraints and everything else. But the results, I can only say about the results. The results were really, really impressive. In the number of startups, in the number of unicorns, also generated in the same period, and all this idea we had that we have to shake hands, we have to see the person, have to meet the person in order to make business. Somehow we learned to connect online. and to
Mhm.
create this connection and to this proximity and this ability to invest money online without never meeting the person on the other side. This is I think this is also maybe related to the ability of the resilience of the people here and the ability to adapt.
I think you probably, I'm just thinking about that because, the trust and credibility are important in such a small community, right? And people would know each other. So I think trust and credibility, that's probably right. You're probably right on with that. It's interesting. So driving it, like you said, it's a small country, but I mean, incredible entrepreneurs with entrepreneurial spirit. And when you talk to Israeli companies, they're very pragmatic and they're very focused on moving forward, very driven, right, in a good way. So tell me a little bit about what's Schneider doing? How does it, have it being the CEO of Innovation and Tech Partnerships for a medical center? How is that? What tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, first of all, Schneider is a children's medical center. It's only about kids. It's the only tertiary hospital for children here in Israel. It's the largest one in the Middle East and Africa. It's a place that I'm still learn to love. I've been there for a few months, but it's just amazing. The fact that we deal with healthcare in children for me, and I see the other staff, makes the whole difference. And the idea that children are not small adults, it's something that it's learned. It has to be learned. It's obvious, but we don't act this way. So in many places, and I've read also reports of places that you take a big medical device for an adult, you cut it in the middle. Okay, voila! Now it's for children,
Hmm.
and this is bizarre. This could never happen in any other medical field. From, I don't know, take something from cardiology, you cut it and become something for I don't know, for renal use, for kidney use. It would never happen in any other kind of area in medicine. It needs approval, it needs testing, it needs research, and this does not happen much in pediatrics. Somehow we love children, they have a great place in the society, right? We always say it's happiness, it's the future of society, of humanity, but still we do not invest enough in them. It's like children are about 30% of the human population, the world population, and only or even less than 10% of the investment in healthcare.
Well, that's
So
amazing. I didn't know that. Well,
yes,
I mean, but in terms of the challenges, they don't have these age-related diseases and things too. So, I mean, they don't have that. Like, but what do you see? What kind of areas are taken off in terms of investments for children? What you're talking? You said medical devices, but what areas specifically do you see really moving forward?
first of all, the kids are very technological, more than the adults, of course, and
Hmm.
their parents are also young people, so they're also technological. So for us to incorporate them in the development of the tools that they're going to use is very important, and it's easier than trying to teach, I don't know, our grandparents to use a certain app for the, I don't know, the management of their disease. It's much more complicated. So in
Hmm.
this case of children, we have this very clear advantage. They are curious. They are always happy to be with us in the developments, and well, don't have specific areas. All the areas are needed in order to for a complementary for global holistic health in children. And we have to remember one very obvious thing that we tend to forget. All of us adults, we were kids. Part of the diseases that we show today, in terms of the origins, the molecular origins, the pathological origins, they start in infancy, in childhood, in teenagerhood. So when we talk about prevention, usually in our minds, we see, I don't know, I'm 50 years old now, I'm going to start doing this and that so that when I'm 70, I won't have, I don't know, cognitive problems. But this is important, but this in some cases might be even a bit too late. Some things we have to start when we are children. We have to treat the children today for the diseases they have now, so they are okay now, but also to avoid things that will come up when we are 20, 25, 30, 20, 35, or 50 years old. So it's a case of prevention as well. Preventive medicine should start in childhood.
Interesting. Interesting. And so, like, what can you tell us about in terms of innovation and tech center? What are you doing? How does it operate?
Okay, so first of all, we're starting also from the beginning and bottom up. The Schneider Children's is a place with huge, huge amount of research. Right now, there are about 900 research programs going on in the hospital, and it's
Wow, that's
it's
amazing.
it's a hospital with 2,000 employees. So
Hmm.
it's an amazing amount. It's a great amount. So what we're doing now is to understand this whole um, picture, what is going on, what the projects are being developed, and to classify them, to understand them, and then to take them a little bit, a step further in terms of innovation, to understand the potential for commercialization, to understand the feasibility in terms of clinical aspects and commercial aspects, IP aspects, and everything else that needs to be understood before we can, know which ones we're going to favor, which ones we're able to support and move ahead. This is one thing. This is bottom up. Very important and very interesting. It's like great science and great clinicians, all areas. I'm not talking about doctors only, of course, the nurses, technicians, physiotherapists, psychologists, everybody. But then we're Israelis, we're not so good in patience, so we're doing also top down simultaneously. We're picking up projects that are already more advanced and already dealing with the commercialization and finding partners in the industry. The ecosystem in Israel is quite well organized and flourishing and active. So we are also creating this space in which we are discussing already with the investors and together with the TTO of the net, the HMO that manages our hospital. We are part of a net of hospitals, the HMO called Clalit, and Clalit has a TTO, a tech transfer company. So together with them, we are dealing already with this second stage.
Are you
That's pretty much
investing in
it.
the companies? Are you investing? Are you looking for partnerships? What are you looking for?
We're looking for partnerships. We do not make direct investments in the companies. We support the development of the projects while they are within our walls inside the
Mhm.
hospital, with grants, with all different kinds of support we're able to give. And then looking for partners that are able to support them later stage in company formation, venture formation, and for later stages of the startups.
How is it hard to find those partners? How do you source the partners? Are they from Israel? Are they international? How are they sourced?
Both, both. First of all, again, in Israel, we have a relatively nice number of venture capital funds and incubators. But the question here, the point here is we are dealing with a field that people do not know well. Pediatrics is a little bit more complicated than general adult health in terms of trials, in terms of market. So some people, some companies, some investors are a little bit afraid of it, and it's understandable. But there are lots of mechanisms in place, and that we are also helping and supporting in order to bridge this and make this possible because it's necessary. Pediatric children's health is something that we must do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. All right, listen, we're coming to the top of the show. So, closing thoughts, and what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Okay, so first of all, Gary, I would like to thank you for inviting me to be here talking to you and your audience. This is a great thing for us also to be able to put the center, the innovation center of Schneider Children's out there. We are looking for partnerships in all kinds of partnerships, clinical partnerships, commercial partnerships. We'd like to to talk and learn from people. So we do this all the time. We're open for conversations and talks constantly. um, we have lots of plans. There are things that are in the nearer future, like the establishment of an incubator within the hospital, within the innovation center. Some things may be a little bit further on, but open to discuss, open to talk, and to learn from you all.
No, that's great. And what's the best way to reach you? LinkedIn, email? What's the best?
LinkedIn is fine. It's great. I'm really checking it all the time. It's very popular in Israel. Like we cannot do anything without LinkedIn nowadays here. So it's fine. You will reach me through LinkedIn, that's for sure. And also by email. I don't know to put it here in the chat or
Yeah,
whatever
if
you
you can
think is
just
easier.
if you can put in the comment in the comments section, that would be great. And what's if you could just
I'll
say it
do
too,
that.
that would be great, Mel.
I'll do that.
So get a hold of Mel. You can get her on LinkedIn. I mean, incredible, rich background, and oh, by the way, she loves soccer, uh, sales, marketing, project management, and the CEO of Innovation and Tech Partnerships at Schneider. So great innovator, deeply connected in the Israeli ecosystem. And I'm sure if you have some questions and need some help, reach out from everywhere. So my name's Gary Fowler, and I am the host of GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. Thank you for attending another exciting edition. We will be back again next Tuesday with another guest. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy, and God bless you all. Take care, and we will see you again next week. Take care of yourselves. Thanks so much, Mel. It's really appreciated.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you very much.